Hey guys, RP Varela here. I've been playing UFO 50 a lot, and I thought about making a tier list, but I thought to myself, everyone can make a tier list. What I'm gonna use is ranking engine, because what it does is you list every single thing you want, so it's all the 50 games here. I listed them. You type them all here, like each one in its own line, so it's like one, two, three, like this. And once you click add, they are added here. And what it does once you click rank is it pits two of them against one another, and you have to pick your favorite. So that's what I'm gonna do, and we're gonna find out the best to worst list, in my opinion. So I'm gonna make a few considerations along the way, so it's not just like, oh, this, that, that, so there's gonna be explanations. So let's get started. Rank. You're about to rank 50 items. That's gonna take estimated 157 comparison. Yes, let's compare. So it starts out Velgras versus Barbuta. Personally, I like Velgras more. Velgras is like, it can be frustrating, of course. They both can be frustrating, but Velgras is like non-stop action. Just fun all the way through. And once it clicks, it really clicks. Barbuta is like, it's meant to be a more primitive game, even though they were all released in the same day, but it's meant to be the first in the collection. There is no music, there is no hit detection on enemies. There are a few things that it's intentionally clunky. And once you figure out a few ways of clearing it, it's kind of loses its charm. So I gotta guess go with Velgris. Devolition versus Lords of Disconia. Now Devolition is a game I wish I could rank way higher than I normally do, and that's solely because it doesn't allow you to take a break and save. Like if you want to do all 10 stages, you have to do them beginning to end. You can't quit the game and continue later. This sucks. It's the main problem I have with Devolition. Otherwise, Devolition would be probably S tier for me. It's one of my favorite games. I among my most played, and not because it's hard to beat, because it's fun. But there is this problem. Lords of Disconia, on the other hand, it starts fine. I was never crazy about Disconia. The moment I saw a bunch of discs, I was like, ah man, really? I wish I could control soldiers and dragons and creatures, but not stupid discs, but whatever. They make it work. I will say though, it's a game that as you play, okay, let me just backpedal a bit. There are two moments with Disconia where I got disappointed. The first one was seeing discs and being like, oh man, really? A board game and not a video game? But okay. The second moment was when I won my first battle and I saw the enemy retreat, regroup, and come back. I was like, this doesn't end the scenario. The battle is doesn't end it. But I powered through. I was like, okay, fine. But yeah, it's a game that as you play, it gets more and more infuriating because the AI blatantly becomes an aimbot. Uh, it becomes insanely hard to even compete. There are strategies like you can do Bard Spider. A lot of people do Bard Spider, but it gets to a point where it's just not fun for me at least. So I gotta go with Devolition. Planet Zoldath versus Campanella 2. I played Zoldath recently to refresh my memory. It's fun. It's a chill experience. Like I like that everything gets turned around and flipped on its head when you die and start over. Even enemies become like NPCs that help you, or creatures that don't attack you but stand there and will attack you if you get too close or attack first. The gadgets like might not be necessary at all. Sometimes they are critical. Sometimes they are useless. Pretty much. Campanella 2, have been calling it Spelunky 3. I get it why. It's basically mini Spelunky. I would say it's Spelunky 2 if you compare it to the base version of Spelunky before Steam, way back. It's kind of mini Spelunky. But it's work, it's fun. I prefer to play it over Zoldath. It's a really fun game. There is like a touch of Blaster Master here where you can get out of the UFO and explore levels on foot. There are different paths you can take. A mini quest for the cherry. I like it. It's mini Spelunky. Divers versus Seaside Drive. Divers, I like to describe Divers as a JRPG where you lost the manual. You don't have the manual for the game. You just got it. It's basically like playing Tunic, but it's a a JRPG instead. It's fun, cryptic as hell, but fun. Intentionally obtuse, I would say. You can figure stuff out, you can progress, you can beat it. It takes a while. Seaside Drive, on the other hand, is just fun. It's fun all around. You just go around shooting things. Simple, fun. The graphics look pretty cute, I guess. I think I prefer it overall. I would like to play it way more, but it has a problem with my monitor. It just burns the lines on the road on my monitor. I don't know why. It sucks. I wish I could play it more, and I don't know how to fix it, so I just avoid playing it altogether. But it's a great game. Overbold versus Bug Hunter. This is an interesting one. I like them both a lot. Bug Hunter didn't click with me for a long time, but then it did, and I was like, yeah, man, this game is really fun. Overbold, on the other hand, like clicked immediately. It's basically plays like Binding of Isaac, right? I know the inspiration is more like Smash TV. That's the name of it, right? Smash TV. And this game here, if they could take this game out of the collection alone and flesh it out a bit more, it would be a fantastic game just on its own. I love what they're doing here. I love the betting system. I love that you can add more difficulty, and you know what the enemy is gonna throw in your way because you bet on it, but you don't know in which order. So suddenly you may find yourself dealing with a lot of a certain enemy and you weren't expecting, so you have to juggle that around. An ideal world would be a game where you start with more health, more waves for you to go, and just maybe an endless mode, something like that. But I understand it defeats the purpose of betting high, but it would be fun to see as an alternate mode. There's so much more they could do with this. I would love to see this game like succeed in the future somehow. Quibble Race versus Avianos. In a way, they are both strategy games, right? Well, Avianos is a legit strategy game. This one is a horse betting game, basically. I like both of them a lot. Avianos was funny because when I launched it the first time, I immediately closed it. I was like, there are 50 games in this collection. I am not going to learn this one right now. I want to play more immediate games first. And I did eventually return to it, and it's really satisfying once you understand how it plays. Like, you choose a deity, they give you your commands for the turn. You can muster an army, you can recruit them, you can get a big, really large attack force and just steamroll with the right deities. Like, I like to get the T-Rex for this, along with the Stegosaur. You can just conquer a lot very early on and just become kind of unstoppable. Of course, it's not the only way, but it helps a lot. Quibble Race, on the other hand, is a lot more simple, much easier to learn, and there's a lot more luck. It's way more luck than strategy overall, but there is strategy. There's definitely a lot of strategy. There's like, but ultimately it comes down to luck. Like, you may bet on a Quibble that gets poisoned and killed, or crippled, or poisoned with drugs, or you may boost your Quibble and you win anyway. So it's really fun. I like both of them. I will have to go with Quibble Race. The Big Bell Race versus Grimstone. Now, these games are very different for me. I don't like Big Bell Race all that much. It's not that it is a bad game, no. I love the concept of a side-scrolling racer on a single screen instead of like something like the earlier Mario Karts with Mode 7, or any games that like makes you travel along a long road. No, this one's all in one screen. I love the idea of being compact, but the game is just way too easy. Even if you don't get the items or something like that, it's so easy. I cherried it in my first try. It to me, a game has to be at least a little challenging to be fun, and this one is like, no, not at all. Grimstone is basically, well, on its own it would be just a run-of-the-mill RPG, JRPG. Not incredible, not crazy, basically a take on Final Fantasy with some action commands, but in this collection, like, imagine it was released in the 80s, it's fantastic, man, it's really fun. I do think Grimstone kinda overstays its welcome a little bit towards the end. I was ready to wrap it up after the Four Horsemen. Sorry, spoilers. If you're watching this, it's a tier list. Why are you here? I was ready to wrap it up after the Four Horsemen, but I didn't mind also that it did prolong itself a little more. So Grimstone for me. Party House, Rail Heist. I love both of these games a lot. Rail Heist didn't click with me immediately. I was not sure what I was doing. I didn't understand the game, but once it clicked, I was like, oh, it's action but also turn-based. You can manipulate the enemy AI to do what you want. You can throw a chicken, they shoot each other. It's really interesting in that sense. Party House is just a very fun deck builder, and this is coming from someone who dislikes card games in general. I really don't like it. And it may sound silly, I know it's silly, but if you put something other than a card, it does a lot for me. Like, I use Marvel's Midnight Suns as an example. I don't want to see, when I play a game like this, I don't want to see a piece of paper flying around, releasing sparkles and colorful light. I want to see action. I want to see a character doing stuff, fucking someone up. You know, like I play Spider-Man's card. He's gonna swing that web and fuck someone up. I want to see that. I don't want to see the card of Spider-Man sparkle a little bit and then a number pops up. That's boring. I like the action. I like the cutscene. Party House does that with the many colorful different guests, all in beautiful pixel art. Does it for me. And the game itself is really fun. So Party House. More than the other one anyway. Porgy versus Mortal. This is interesting. But Porgy, I think I'm in the majority here when I say early game Porgy. Oh fuck, okay. Early game Porgy is just suffering. It's really frustrating. You're weak as hell. You have no fuel. Your rockets are super short ranged and weak. You got no gadgets. Every barrier you find you can't overcome. But if you persist, you find that you become really strong. The game becomes really fun. You take on bosses. The boss battles are super fun. The last area is maybe a little obnoxious because you're so far from a refuel station. But you can make it work. You can find your way to the final boss down there. It's really fun. Mortal is just simple fun. The concept is just so good. Like, here's a bunch of lives. Clear the level. And you have to sacrifice them. It's so good. Like, it's so simple, so good. And they expand on it so well. Like, now there's fire that set yourself ablaze and burn enemies and paths, but you will also die. Or you can jump into water and put it out, but now you have to swim. And if you stay down too long, you drown. But now you can use your body as a platform because you float to the surface. Or you can become a little plant and create a vine. They expand on this so much, and there are cool different enemies and switches you can press and extra lives to get. So good. Clear sport game, in my opinion. Now this is very funny to me. Nimpack versus Star Warsphere, because this is one of my favorite games, and this is the game I like the least by far. Nimpack is just so sweet. You just run around shooting enemies. It's so simple. It's so easy to understand. It's pick up and play. Kinda hard to master, but not punitively hard. It's just a fun. Even the second loop is very hard still, but very fun as well. I love Nimpack. I could play Nimpack all the time. Star Warsphere is a shoot 'em up that does everything wrong for a shoot 'em up. Vertical scrolling on a horizontal screen, vomit-inducing backgrounds, a clusterfuck of bullets to the point that you don't know what's going on anymore because sometimes they blend, especially the asteroids, they kind of blend with the background. It's hard to spot them and you crash into them. You never feel powerful in this game, never. Every single enemy, from the littlest fly to the biggest boss, is a little bullet sponge. You pump them full of bullets, they will not drop. They will not die. You have to stay there and shoot each one of them. The ladder system is a pain in the ass. And like I said, there are so little returns for you. Like, you have to go for the score. And the little drones that follow you around, they call them options. They shouldn't call it option because it's mandatory. And all the other abilities are so lackluster. Like, you get, for the yellow ship, you get a stronger attack, and I was so hyped when I got that. And then it goes away. It lasts for a little time. I'm like, really? You never feel good about this game at all. So Nimpack all the way. Kick Club, Hyper Contender. These are two games I don't like very much. And Hyper Contender is gonna suffer because it has a multiplayer component. I don't play multiplayer on this one. I don't play multiplayer for any game, so they are gonna suffer a bit. This is a game meant for multiplayer. I know that, but I don't have anyone who plays UFO 50, so it has to be single player for me. And I didn't enjoy it. I think there is only one character that controls in a satisfying way, which is the lady that jumps normally and throws knives. A second close would be the lady with a jetpack. That kind of works too, but I don't have fun controlling the characters. I don't have fun trying to do the combos to get the rings going. Nah. Kick Club is more fun than that. But I would say Kick Club definitely gets too annoying towards the end. Both because it outstays its welcome, it lasts too long, and both because it gets kinda bullshitty at the end. Like there are levels with 10,000 American football helmets and they just kick balls at you and it's a pain in the ass. But it's better than Hyper Contender for sure. Camouflage Paint Chase. Very similar theming with the colors. I don't like Paint Chase at all. Really dislike the game. I find it like you have. Do you know the very old Disney cartoon where Donald Duck is inside the hull of a ship, and the ship starts leaking water, and he puts his finger on the hole to plug the hole, and then another hole comes up. So he puts another finger then, and then another hole comes up, and this is the entire section of the animation. He keeps trying to plug all the holes, and more holes come up, and he can't do anything. He gets trapped, super stressed out. This is Paint Chase for me. You kill an enemy, another enemy pops up, and then another enemy, and you keep running around like a headless chicken, trying to paint the floor while you kill them. It's so annoying to play, in my opinion. I dislike this game. It's not awful, but it's pretty bad. Camouflage is just chill. It kind of suffers from the same problem as Big Bell Racing, that it's too easy. But at least it makes you think a little, you know. You kind of have to, okay, so if I transform here, it's satisfying when you figure out. But it's definitely not a hard one. Better than Paint Chase though. Mooncat versus Magic Guard. Let me drink some water. These are games I like. Mooncat has the deliberately obnoxious control scheme, but you do get used to it. You do learn, and it becomes second nature if you play enough. Furthermore, it's generous with you. It saves on every single screen you clear, as long as you don't quit. This is a little annoying. I wish you could save on a certain screen, but this is because I was unfamiliar with the controls, so it took me a lot longer to clear a screen than it does now. So I can't do it in one go. Back then I couldn't. But yeah, I like Mooncat. Magic Garden is just simple fun. It's a puzzle game in a way, with a little actiony. I like that you can deliberately fail to deliver the little slimes and grab a potion and kill them all for a lot of points. I don't like that you die in one go and that's it. I wish there were like maybe 3 lives, something like that, so you could go long. But I still like it. I prefer it over Mooncat. Golfaria and Onion Delivery. Also interesting because these are two games I really dislike. Golfaria is an RPG, but you play as a golf ball and you have strokes, so you have a set number of strokes. If you run out, you warp back to the last checkpoint and you have to start again. But it does save every upgrade you get, which is fantastic. It would be unplayable otherwise. Onion Delivery has a very annoying control scheme to get used to. You do get used to, but it doesn't help you overcome the randomness. It has some random elements that can make it frustrating. Sometimes your delivery is going to be on the other side of town. During an event there's hell to deal with, like rain or the slime overflow. But here's the thing. I never had fun playing Golfaria. Not once. I cleared because I wanted to beat every game. Not a single moment of this game was fun for me. At best it was neutral. Onion Delivery can be fun. Running around like until you can regain your health by speeding up, or jumping over ramps and gaps and learning the map a little bit so you don't fall into the river every single time. It is more rewarding, so I have to go with Onion Delivery. Waldorf's Journey Pilot Quest. I like Waldorf. He's simple, he's fun. It's kind of like firing a gun in Worms. Like you aim, you shoot, you account for the wind, and you can fly a little bit. It's really sweet. It's kind of trippy. It's kind of relaxing. I like Waldorf a lot. Pilot Quest is a game that I would love if it wasn't for the idle mechanics. It's basically a mini Zelda, an early Zelda, right? The original, with dungeons and things to find. But the idle mechanics kind of sap a lot of the fun for me, so I'm gonna go with Waldorf. Mortal 2 versus Vanger. Mortal 2, I don't like it as much as Mortal. I think it's a good game, but I prefer this section level to level approach instead of this kind of open world they did here. It's still fun, not as fun as Mortal. I'm kind of neutral towards this one. I don't hate it, I don't like it. So, it's just okay. It's an okay game. Vanger is a very fun Metroidvania. I like the mechanic of finding upgrades and choosing where you put them. Like, oh, I can put fire on my gun for more damage, or I can put it on my gravity flip so I unleash fiery waves. It's interesting. I like it a lot. And I like it more than Mortal 2. I do think the final boss is kind of takes too long. He can go invincible for extended periods of time. But it's still a fun game. Go with this one. Warp Temp Block Koala. Those are games I played in a very similar fashion. I played them piecemeal. I will clear one or two levels and stop on both of them. That said, Warp Tank has an action element that I appreciate a lot more. It has better music. It has more fun puzzles overall, much more fun puzzles. There are some little endurance stages where a lot of enemies swarm you and you have to kill them and stay on your toes. There are boss battles. Block Walla is just Sokoban. It's a little block pushing puzzle. Sometimes the puzzles are multiple solutions and some of them are like ridiculously easy. So sometimes they are kind of obnoxious. The last puzzle is the worst one, I think. But Warp Tank is really good, man. Better than Block Koala. Bushido Ball, Elphazar's Hat. I don't like Bushido Ball all that much. It's kind of Pong. Windjammers people bring up a lot. Never played Windjammers, but people bring up a lot when talking about this one. I don't hate it, but I don't like it. Elphazar's Hat is just plain old fun. It does the card mechanic way better than Waspier could ever dream of. So much more fun. I love the music in this game. It's fucking fantastic. It's one of the best soundtracks in the entire collection. The levels are inventive, creative, kind of trippy, psychedelic monsters, weird shit. I really like Elphazar's Hat. I love that you can choose what you get. You can get a minor upgrade, a full upgrade if you're in a pinch. You can or I need health now, so you take 2 unks, so just to heal. I love how it lets you do a lot of things. Oh, and I should add, it has a special boss if you do it without continues. Very good. Velgris, I already talked about Velgris. Campanella 3. As far as the shoot 'em ups go, this one is not the worst. It's not the best. It's okay for me. It's okay to good. I had a good time with it. It is kind of hard, but not as hard as the others. It has the infamous ending. It's deliberately bad because of the meta story. I don't care too much about the meta story. I'm judging the games on its own merits, and the ending sucks, of course. But I don't really care at the same time for the ending, so it's not factoring in the grade here. But even though I like this game, I like Velgris more, and I talked about Velgris already. Now, do I like it more than Barbuta? I think so. Barbuta is kind of slow paced too slow paced. It kind of gets annoying to play after a while. Even though there are a lot of secrets to find, you kind of have to make a mental map or just draw down, find different items, find different paths. Campanella 3 is just more fun to me. Rock on Island is the tower defense of the collection. This game is really fucking fun. So damn fun to play. I love placing all the different guys there, upgrading them, upgrading my own weapon I can get to choose. I love the pixel art. The music's kind of annoying, I will say that. Devolution has better music. But I really like this game. Like, I love the little sprites for the dinos. I love the the little caveman. I love everything about this game. It's one of my favorites to play. I don't think I would cherry it's a little obnoxious to me. I like that you can have a chicken economy going on to keep yourself going. I like building on the fly so you don't max the meat and waste it. Just more fun to me. Campanella 2, like, come on, Combatants is one of the worst games in the collection. It's deliberately, I guess, broken and buggy. The AI sucks. It's a struggle to get them to follow. You cannot stray too far or they will fuck off and leave you alone. The fact that the red ants are way more powerful than you sucks ass. Like, the moment I saw a red worker take out a blue soldier, like, this game is bullshit. I do get it. It's a strategy game. It's not a strategy game. It's a game about exploiting broken AI. It's just not fun to me. Even when you win, it doesn't feel satisfying. The most satisfaction I got was luring a spider into the enemy and letting it do the work, so I didn't have to play it. Campanella 2 clears it easily. And so does Planet Zoldath. Hotfoot is a game that I initially disliked it a lot, and then it grew on me a little bit. I still don't like it a lot, but I like it way more than I did when I started playing. It's kind of obnoxious with your computer-controlled AI, but once I learned that jumping causes them to jump as well, it became a lot more manageable. Like, I think it's one of those tutorials that they kind of bombard you with instructions like, use your special attack, throw the beanbag, get the soda, jump, and so your AI jumps. So I kind of lost this instruction in the middle of the other ones, and I forgot about it. But once I replayed it, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Then it kind of clicked. I will say though, it does outstays its welcome. Absolutely, it did not need to be 6 rounds for you to win. 5 was more than enough. 4 would be perfect, but okay, I don't mind. I beat it, I cleared it. I still prefer Seaside Drive, and I prefer Divers over it. Overbold versus Valbrace. Valbrace is really cool. The idea is fantastic. Like, I love the first person, old school Doom style of perspective. I like the punch out gameplay. I like casting spells. Like, when you get the heal, it's super helpful. I like that you don't have to relearn the spells. If you know them, you know them. Like, I can boot it up again and the spells are going to be the same. I do like the little gem puzzles that you do. Though I will say, the biggest flaw in Valbrace to me is how long it takes. It drags, man. The levels are really large, and you are constantly fighting, and the fights are not short. I do appreciate all the boss battles they throw your way, all of them. The Phantom Knight, the Bug Queen, the final boss, forgot his name now. I like the fights a lot. But yeah, the game takes way too long. Overbold is more quick, more satisfying. And I prefer Bug Hunter over it too. Let me drink more water. Now, this is probably gonna come as a surprise to a lot of people. I cannot stand Campanella. I really dislike that game. The ship feels heavier than it should for me. I don't like how easy it is to die. Like, if you lightly bump into a wall, you're dead. I get that the purpose for the game is like collect as many extra lives as you can, but I feel like you need the coffees to win, which should be like a little Easter egg, but I feel like they are necessary to win. Like, they're not technically, I know they're not, but it's so easy to die that I feel like I need all the help I can get to clear this one, and I didn't have a lot of fun playing it. I love what they did with the visuals and the music, but the gameplay just sucks for me. I don't like this one. Quibble Race all the way. And Avianos. Now, Fist Hell. If Fist Hell released in the made up 80s date, it would definitely be revolutionary. But it didn't. It released in 2024. By 2024 standards, it's not a great beat 'em up. It does a lot of things wrong, like you have no iframes when throwing. You can get pummeled into the ground when you're trying to get up. The weapons feel like they are less useful than your attacks. You can cheese all the enemies by punching them all the time and keeping them down forever. And yet, I like it. I love this game. I like the music. I love the pixel art on this. I like the gameplay. And, of course, I am very, very biased towards beat 'em ups. It's one of my favorite video game genres. It is gonna clear Grimstone for me. Now, Mortal versus Party House. I talked about both of them. I think Party House is more fun. And I think Mortal clears Rail Heist, because I've talked about them. Rail Heist, in my opinion, still clears Porgy because of the frustrating beginning. Now, at Tactics. At Tactics is a very fun tactics game in this collection. I got a little confused at first, but when I clicked it, I was like, when it clicked with me, I was like, yeah, man, this game is just fun. Super fun to play. I love the different units. I love that there is like strategies you can pull off, like you can. Oh, I don't want my archers to advance right now, so I'm gonna place them in front of an enemy. I'm gonna switch my enemy suddenly into their archers so I can kill them. I'm gonna get my guys in a column so they don't take damage. I'm gonna pull my spearmen back so they poke without taking damage. I'm gonna blow up the enemy sappers so they blow up everything the enemy has. There's so much here, man. There's so much. It's such a good game. I still prefer Nimpact though. Nimpact is hard to beat. Really fun. It will absolutely clear Star Wars Spear. Don't get me started. Ping Golf. Ping Golf is a fun little concept. It's almost not a golf game. I don't like golf games, as you've seen with Golf Aria. I don't like golf games, but Ping Golf is almost not a golf game. The side-scrolling view almost makes it kinda like Waldorf in a way, because you're platforming essentially with the ball, trying to get to the end. And you have the dunk mechanic that's satisfying when you know how to use it. Takes a little experimentation, but it's fun. And this sounds silly, but I would like this game to be just me. I'm gonna explain what I mean. I wish it didn't have all the AI contestants, like in a tournament kind of thing, because they get points. You don't know how they got their good points, their good score, while you're lagging behind before you learn. It's silly. I know it's silly. I wish there was no point system. Just like see if you can beat your own score. How good can you get? Would be more fun to me. And I do think it lasts a little too long too. So I'm gonna. That said, I still prefer it over Kick Club. Camouflage or Night Manor. Night Manor is a little point-and-click adventure with horror theme. I like Night Manor. I don't like horror games typically. This one is not scary. It does have jump scares because the dude like pops up in front of you, and the music suddenly changes. Like you can get a little on edge, but it's nothing too scary. Like it's easy. It's fine. And I do like it's not ridiculously cryptic with the things you gotta find. The things you gotta interact with are usually clear and visible. Maybe the little X on the mirror that you have to break is a little cryptic. That magnifying glass on the dollhouse is a little cryptic because most people are gonna click on the get command, the take, and not the C, because if you use the eyes, they're gonna say, oh, there's something too small here. But it's very easy to miss. Then actually, it doesn't bother me, but it's more fun to play than Camouflage. Camouflage is too easy. Now, Rakshasa. Rakshasa is kinda like... Hang on, let me drink water. Kinda like Ghosts and Goblins meets Contra. I like this one. I like that you can essentially die forever. Not really, like if you die in the spirit world, you're dead for good. But I like that they give you a chance to come back. I died a lot in the final boss before I cleared it, but I still did it. I like that you can cancel out a death by getting the item that does that. The bell, I think. That makes it easier to resurrect in the future. I like the different weapon types. I don't like that you lose your weapon when you die, but it's a minor complaint. It's very fun to play. And even though I find this game very hard, I still find it very fun. More than Magic Garden. Mini and Max is another Metroidvania in a way, in a sense. More like an adventure game in a way. It's hard to judge. Like, I had a lot of fun with Mini and Max, finding quests, solving problems, exploring the world, finding the upgrades. It's super fun to do. And if you ask me, would you play it again? Not anytime soon. It's not, to me at least, it's not a very replayable game. But it's very fun all the way through, and it certainly clears Onion Delivery. Waldorf's Journey vs Cyber Owls. Cyber Owls is the last game in the collection. I'm not a big fan of this one. It tries to do way too much, and it ends up like either the experiences you get are done so quickly that you barely have any time to get to know them, or they seem like rushed and poorly made. I like the Octavio levels. They're kind of like a beat 'em up in a way. I think they're fun. Not very polished. This is no fist hell, but it works. The Metal Gear sections with Gwyn, I think that's her name, suck ass. I hate that. This is the only part of the game that I stopped playing. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna look up a map. I'm not having fun with this. I'm not enjoying this in the slightest. I don't want to be crawling around behind guards and having very limited ammunition. Nah. The over-the-shoulder shooter with the other owl, forgot her name now. That's no owl. It's really fun. It's pretty fun. I wish there was more of that in the game. And the section with the motorbike that flies around and shoots is just whatever. It's a very basic shoot 'em up. Not very interesting. I don't like that you have to play even more Metal Gear later on. And when you get captured, the minigame sucks ass. Just reset and try again. You're better off. Waldorf all the way. And Pilot Quest. Wenger or Caramel Caramel? Caramel Caramel is my favorite shoot 'em up in the collection. I don't love it. I don't like shoot 'em ups in general, but I do like it a little bit. I think the camera mechanic is pretty fun. You can stun enemies. You can make them drop armor for you to repair yourself. I think the boss balance is a little off. Like the egg feels harder than the second boss. They kind of should have switched those around maybe. But that said, Wenger is a more fun game. And Mortal 2. Now, these are two games I already talked about. I prefer Alphazar over Warp Tank. But Warp Tank clears Bushido Ball. Bushido Ball and Block Koala, like they're kinda I did play Block Koala. I enjoy playing a level of Block Koala. I could not go through all 50 levels in one go or something like that. This game is better enjoyed piecemeal. Bushido Boy is just like fun. I don't like the tournament thing. I can play like one match and this is enough. If the AI was harder from the get-go and not too hard as the end game, I would enjoy it more. But I enjoy it more than Block Koala. I think Rock on Island clears Velgrass. I love Velgrass, but Rock on Island is just that better for me. Velgrass is better than Devilation though. And Devilation clears Campanella 3. Campanella clears Disconia. Barbuta clears Disconia. Seaside Drive or Campanella 2. I like the simplicity of Seaside Drive, man. Campanella 2 is more fun than Divers. Divers is kind of too slow paced. And you have to go back to base a lot, kind of gets grating a bit. Honestly, I prefer the chill vibes of Planet Zoldath. Come on, Combatant is just awful. Hot Foot is better. Overbold is just too fun to Quibble Race cannot compete. I prefer Quibble Race over Bug Hunter though. Honestly, I like these both a lot, but I think Avianos is a little more controlled. This one has a little too much RNG for my taste, so I prefer Avianos. It clears Campanella. Valbrace clears Campanella as well. Honestly, this is gonna sound probably insane for a lot of people, but I'm gonna go with Fist Hell, man. I love that game. Party House clears Grimstone though. Honestly, Grimstone... Did I talk about Grimstone? I did talk. I could talk more actually, so I think I like the idea that you can choose protagonists out of all 8. I like that you choose who lives and who dies. I like that I can play it again and try a different party if I want to, because I didn't play with everyone. And I really like JRPGs, but Mortal is really just so fun as a concept that clears it for me. But I prefer it over Rail Heist. Grimstone, that is. Rail Heist clears Big Bell Race. Porgy clears Big Bell Race. Nimpeg clears Ping Golf. Tactics clears Ping Golf. Ping Golf clears Waspier. Everything is gonna clear Waspier, man. I don't even care. Just clears it. I hate Waspier. It's my least favorite game. Honestly, it's a hard one for me, man. I like Rakshasa a lot. It's really fun to play. And I guess it's more replayable than something like Night Manor that you beat it once and you're kind of like, yeah, I get it. It's a great game, but Rakshasa is just that fun. Magic Garden is inoffensive, I guess, but in this regard, I prefer Night Manor. Magic Garden is more fun than Camouflage, though. Mooncat clears Camouflage. Mini and Max over Waldorf. Waldorf clears Onion. Pilot Quest clears Onion. Honestly, Cyber House can clear onions. Let me drink more water. I prefer the shorter game here, with Alphazar over Wenger. Wenger annoys me in that you can't see the map unless you are back at the save station. This is really annoying to me. So I gotta go with Alphazar. And honestly, I prefer Warp Tank as well. It clears Bushido Ball though. Mortal 2 also clears Bushido Ball. Caramel clears it. Rock on Island clears Seaside. Velgris clears that. I prefer it over Devolution though. Campanella 2 also clears Devolution. I think Devolution clears Zoldaf. And as does Campanella 3. I prefer Zoldaf over Barbuta. I prefer Barbuta over Divers. Divers over Disconia. Hot Foot over Disconia. Fuck me, man. I'll take Disconia over Combatants. Fist Hell over Bold. Party House clears Overbold. Overbold clears Mortal. Mortal clears Quibble Race. Grimstone clears Quibble Race. Rail Heist clears Quibble Race. Porgy clears Quibble Race. Quibble Race clears Big Bell Race. Avianos clears Big Bell Race. Bug Hunter clears. Valbrace. Big Bell Race is better than Campanella. Nimpeg clears Rakshasa. Tactics clears Rakshasa. Rakshasa clears Pingolf though. Night Manor clears Pingolf. I'd rather have Magic Garden. I'd rather play Mooncat. Camouflage. Pingolf. Clears Paint Chase. Kick Club also clears. Hyper Contender clears. It's faster, it's over sooner. Paint Chase will clear Waspier though. I prefer to play Alphazar's Hat over Mini and Max because it's more replayable, but Mini and Max was the better experience. It clears Waldorf's Joe, Alphazar. I prefer Warp Tank. I prefer Wenger. I prefer Waldorf over Mortal 2. I prefer Mortal 2 over Pilot Quest. Pilot Quest. Caramel over Cyber Owls. Cyber Owls over Bushido Ball. Bushido Ball over Onion Delivery. Block Koala clears Onion Delivery too. Fist Hell clears Rock On. Party House clears Rock On. Overbold clears Rock On. Rock On clears Mortal. Mortal clears Velgris. Velgris clears Grimstone. Grimstone over Seaside. Seaside over Rail Heist. Rail Heist clears Campanella 2. Campanella 2 clears Porgy, I think. Devolution is more fun overall than Porgy because of the frustrating beginning. Actually, no. No. Porgy clear. Porgy gets really damn fun. Sorry, Devolution. You do clear Quibble Race though, at least. Quibble Race clears Campanella 3. It was more fun. I think I prefer the action, oh sorry, the strategy of Avianos over the action of Campanella 3. Hmm. I prefer Bug Hunter. I prefer the tactical aspect. Valve Races I think is more fun than Campanella 3, even though it's long. Campanella 3 is more fun than Big Bell. Zoldef is more fun. Barbuta is more fun. Diver is more fun. Hotfoot. It clears Disconia though. Disconia is really annoying. I would rather play Disconia over Campanella though. I would play Campanella over Combatants though. Let's not go crazy. I prefer Nimpack over Mini and Max. I prefer Tactics. I prefer Mini and Max over Rakshasa. Elphazar. Rakshasa over Warp Tank. Warp Tank over Night Manor. Night Manor clears Vanger. Vanger clears Magic Garden though. Waldorf clears Magic Garden. I prefer Magic Garden over Mortal 2. I prefer Mooncat. I prefer Mortal 2. Honestly, I prefer Pilot Quest over Camouflage. Camouflage is more fun than Caramel Caramel. I don't like shoot 'em ups all that much. I still like Caramel Caramel over Pingolf though. Cyber Owls or Pingolf? Fuck, I think I want Pingolf, man. Or in Kick Club. I guess I take Cyber Owls on this one. Versus Hyper Contender. Bushido Ball is definitely more fun than Hyper Contender. As is Block Koala. I'll take a Hyper Contender over Onion Delivery though. Onion Delivery clears Pain Chase. Pain Chase clears Golfaria. Golfaria clears Waspier. Fist Hell clears Nimpack. Party House clears Nimpack. Nimpack clears Overbold. Overbold over Tactics. Rock on Islands over Tactics. Mortal over Tactics. Velgris. At Tactics over Grimstone. Mini and Max over Grimstone. Elphazar over Grimstone. Grimstone over Rakshasa. Seaside Drive is better than Rakshasa, I think. Rakshasa clears Rail Heist. Warp Tank clears Rail Heist too. Rail Heist is better than Night Manor. Campanella 2 is better as well. Porgy is also better. Night Manor clears Devolution. Devolution clears Vanger. Quibble Race clears Vanger. I think Vanger is kind of annoying to me. Vanger clears Avianos though. I prefer Waldorf over Avianos. I prefer Avianos over Magic Garden. I prefer Bug Hunter over Magic Garden. I prefer Valve Race. Magic Garden is more fun than Campanella 3. As is Mooncat. I prefer Mortal 2. I prefer Campanella 3. I prefer Planet Zoldef. I don't like the idle mechanics in Pilot Quest. I'll take Pilot Quest over Barbuta though. Barbuta or Camouflage? Camouflage. I prefer to play Barbuta over Caramel Caramel. Caramel Caramel or Divers. Caramel Caramel clears Hotfoot though. Hotfoot. I think it's more enjoyable than Pingolf. Pingolf over Big Bell. Kid Club clears. Big Bell is more fun than Cyber Owls though. Cyber Owls clears Disconia. Bushido Ball clears Disconia. Block Koala. Hyper Contender. Onion Delivery over Disconia. I think I prefer Disconia over Pain Chase though. Pain Chase over Campanella. Campanella over Golfaria. Golfaria over Combatants. So, I don't know. I think Combatants, man. Fuck Golfaria. Let's see my list. So, bottom to top. Star Waspier, Golfaria, Combatants, Campanella, Pain Chase, Lords of Disconia, Onion Delivery, Hyper Contender, Block Koala, Bushido Ball, Cyber Owls, The Big Bell Race, Kick Club, Pingolf, Hotfoot, Caramel Caramel, Divers, Barbuta, Camouflage, Pilot Quest, Planet Zoldath, Campanella 3, Mortal 2, Mooncat, Magic Garden, Valbrace, Bug Hunter, Avianos, Waldorf Journey, Vanger, Quibble Race, Devilition, Night Manor, Porgy, Campanella 2, Rail Heist, Warp Tank, Rakshasa, Seaside Drive, Grimstone, Elphazar's Hat, Minion Max, Tactics, Velgress, Mortal, Rock on Island, Overbold, Nimpak, Party House, and Fist Hell. And that's my list. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm RP Varela, and I'll see you someday.